Welcome to Focus on Abilities, a program about issues affecting the lives of people with disabilities. I'm Lex Frieden. I'll be your host for today's program. I'm professor at UT Health, and I direct the ILRU Independent Living Research Utilization program at Tier Memorial Hermann. We have a good program for you today with an outstanding guest whom I will introduce right after this break. So please stay tuned. Come back for Focus on Abilities.
The following program is sponsored by ILRU Southwest ADA Center, promoting compliance with the Americans with Disabilities Act.
This is Focus on Abilities, and I'm Lex Frieden, your host. We have an outstanding guest today, but before I introduce him, I want to ask a question, and this is one we will answer before the end of today's program. That is, when did Houston establish a mayor's office on disability? It's historically significant. Now let me introduce the current director of the Mayor's Office on People with Disabilities, Angel Ponce. Angel, thank you for being our guest here today.
You're welcome, Lex. I'm very happy to be here with you today and share what we offer to the community.
You have been the director now for what, almost 2 years?
Oh, you're giving me too much credit.
Yeah.
Actually, Lex, I became director last year in July.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Well, it feels like you're at home, right?
It sure does. I was still within the mayor's office for people with disabilities before I became director. I did leave shortly to Harris County, but like the mayor always says, everybody always comes back to the city, and that's exactly what I did.
That's good. Angel, you must have appreciated that opportunity when the mayor offered it to you.
I did, Lex. I always have, I think, done a really good job at communicating with the community. My role at the mayor's office was to do community engagement and connect with our constituents and connect our constituents with services and programs that benefit them. And so whenever I talked to Mayor Sylvester Turner, and I told him that this is where I need to be, is because this was a calling for me. And I believe that the mayor saw that. And so I'm grateful for that opportunity to be in this position now where I can create some change, some long-lasting change, and bring in new services and programs. And like you and I will discuss, a whole lot of big things coming for the city of Houston, specifically for our Houston disability community.
So when the mayor appointed you to the role, when he offered you the job and you accepted, did he give you any special instructions? Did he tell you whatever Lex Frieden says? What?
That's exactly what he said.
Oh yeah, so for sure.
Whatever Dr. Lex Frieden wants, let's get it done.
So no, the mayor's office is a huge responsibility. I mean, this is the third largest city in the country, or the fourth largest, depends on who's counting, and you're representing effectively more than what, 500,000 people with disabilities?
That's right, Lex. It is the fourth largest city in the country, and maybe soon to be in the next few years the third largest city in the country. And yes, we do serve a large population. Right now it's estimated to be about 215,000 Houstonians with disabilities just within the city Houston limits. But we think, Lex, that it's a whole lot more than that.
I guarantee you that's more than that.
Oh, definitely.
Those data are undercounted because we know that many people who have disabilities choose not to reveal that,
Exactly.
and others feel like they don't want to give up that personal information. So 250,000 people is not a small number by any token of the imagination. We're talking about more people than that. And people becoming disabled very rapidly now as a result of aging. We have a fast growing demographic of people who are getting beyond retirement age and becoming disabled, right?
That's right. And including that, Lex, we also have to think about when COVID hit us, right? A lot of people are coming back from COVID with symptoms that are long lasting, that ultimately impact them with disabilities. And so we have to take that into consideration. And like you just expressed, there are a lot of folks out there that not only have not disclosed, but sometimes they don't know they have a disability. And we have to take that into consideration when we're thinking about plans or thinking about accessibility issues, thinking about programs and services that are going to be for those folks that become disabled.
Now, your main role in your position is to advise the mayor and the city council and to help ensure that the city's infrastructure, all the roads and sidewalks and buildings that the city's responsible for, all that is accessible and welcoming for people with disabilities.
Yes, sir. We do have a program specifically geared towards sidewalks and infrastructure repairs. We right now have about $3 million per fiscal year to focus on sidewalks. I think we can be doing a whole lot better than that, but that requires a whole lot of other work that we got to get done in the background. However, the work that we're doing, not just within the office, but we make sure that we have a representative at the table, not just making decisions, but making recommendations to those leaders in our communities that are going to be thinking about what Houston is going to look like in the long term. For example, right now we have our infrastructure person sitting in meetings with the Vision Zero group. We have sitting in meetings with the sidewalk modifications team, so that we are there to make sure that the city of Houston and our leaders are taking accessibility and disability issues into consideration when we're making decisions about what's going to happen in Houston in the next few years.
Well, personally, I think having someone at the table, as you described it, is probably the most significant job of the mayor's office. But in addition to that, you all operate programs, and you're collaborating with the Center on Disability, the Metropolitan Multi-Service Center.
That's right.
To develop programs there. And you're probably the go-to information source for people who move to our community or residents who want more information about accessible facilities and programs.
So Lex, you brought up a very good point. We do serve as the lead advocate for people with disabilities in the city of Houston. I work directly with the mayor and with city council members and other department directors and supervisors to ensure that disability services and disability programs, or in general programs, are taking disability as a part of their strategies, right?
Yeah.
And so with the Metropolitan Multi-Service Center, for some of those folks that are not familiar with the facility, it is probably one of the most accessible local-owned municipality facilities in the nation. And it's not just accessible, but it provides programs and services for our disability community, like adaptive sports, adaptive activities. They have a pool that is fully accessible to people with disabilities.
Hold on, the list is too long.
We're
gonna take a break.
Okay, sounds good.
And after the break, we're going to come back and talk about the multi-service center and what the plans are for that.
We have big plans.
All right, stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Mom was always very self-sufficient, but we started noticing things were off.
I was forgetting my responsibilities at work.
I told Mom we should visit a doctor.
Alzheimer's. It was hard to hear that.
Early detection gave us time to seek information and support as a family. I've never felt more connected with Mom.
If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together.
Moments shared with loved ones are precious. Joy, enchantment, connection. It's why we travel. At Houston Airports, we know the magical flight begins the moment you secure your parking spot and embark on your journey. That's why we work so hard to bring you the most convenient parking solutions that are the best fit for your trip. If you're traveling for business or leisure, whether your voyage starts from Bush Intercontinental or William P. Hobby Airport, our parking team at Valet Parking, Eco Park, Eco Park 2, or Terminal Parking is here to give you a first-class experience with a big Texas smile. We're here for you to ensure this moment and every moment in between will be filled with great memories that will last a lifetime. So travel smarter, park smarter, and get more of the moments that matter.
Metro is here for you every day, providing safe, reliable travel options. We take you to celebrations and help during emergencies. We're always listening to the community, and we manage taxpayer dollars responsibly. And thanks to overwhelming voter approval, we're building transit for today and tomorrow so that you can drive less and do more.
When you don't keep your eyes on what you're doing, it can be downright dangerous to you and others, especially when you're behind the wheel. Put your phone down. Heads up, Texas.
Downtown is an art lover's dream with more than 65 pieces of public art.
Welcome back. I'm Lex, and we're here with Angel from the Mayor's Office on People with Disabilities. Angel, before we took this break, you were talking about all the things that happen at our Metropolitan Multi-Service Center down. It's on West Gray.
It is.
And it's in a prime location. That's something we should mention. I mean, that you said it's the one of the only city-owned facilities in the country like that. Tell me more.
So, the facility, I think, is very unique compared to other facilities in not just the city of Houston, but at the state level and at the national level. This facility provides so many services for people with disabilities, including adaptive sports programming for those folks that want to be more active or just participate in their favorite sport that they possibly think that they can't be involved in anymore because they are recently injured or they just acquired a disability. But that's not the fact there, right? So like we do provide services and programs. We have activity rooms, we have a full core gymnasium, but that's just not enough. We have, like we mentioned, we have a population of over 215,000 Houstonians with disabilities that want to get involved, that want to be active. And so we know that this facility requires a lot more attention. And so right now, the Mayor's Office for People with Disabilities, the Houston Commission on Disabilities, and a lot of folks in the city of Houston are working very hard so that we can encourage those folks that are interested in the facility to think about what this facility can become. And I envision something big. I envision another full court gymnasium so that we can have multiple games happening at the same time, a remodelation of the gym, another locker room for those folks that are playing the adaptive sports, another facility where we can bring in nonprofits and other programs and services that are connecting people with disabilities in the community to those services. A one-stop shop for people with disabilities in Houston, Texas. What better could that be, right?
Yeah. So in addition to the ball courts and the exercise facilities, that swimming pool is one of the only accessible pools in the city, right?
It sure is. It is used every day except on weekends. And it is the only accessible pool with lifts for people that need the assistance to enter the pool. It's a heated pool as well, and it's covered, and so it's a perfect space.
And there's a ball yard out back where they can play.
There's a tennis court outside for people that want to do some adaptive sports, tennis there. A lot of the community does use the facility. There is a playground for all that is located there that is specifically made for children with disabilities. And so a young child in a wheelchair can roll up to the playground and play with other kids that are not disabled.
So the center dates back to mid-1980s. It was the place, the site of the first hearing outside Washington on the Americans with Disabilities Act.
Wow.
1989, Mayor Kathy Whitmire spoke to the Congressional Committee, and they asked her, as mayor of one of the largest cities in the country, would the city support the Americans with Disabilities Act if it were passed? And she said, not only that, she said, I am currently the chairman of the Council of Mayors, and our national group supports the ADA. And the members of Congress who were here were making notes, and they were moved by that. And then they asked the transit director at the time, Bob Lanier, who would later become mayor, can the city accommodate people with disabilities in its transit system? And he said, we intend to do that. That we need to do that. We must do that. And so we had very compelling testimony from Houston that helped pass the ADA. All of that historically occurred in that multi-service center.
Wow. But
that tells me something. The center was there in 1988, 89, and here we are, 2023, and we need to update that center. The population's expanded. We need to make it larger. If people are interested in that, they can get in touch with you.
That's right, Lex. Folks interested in looking at the facility can contact us at 832-394-0814, or you can send us an email at mopdmail@houstontx.gov. You can call me directly. I'm the director, Angel Ponce, and I'd love to talk to folks about what this facility can be.
And the same thing applies to people who might want to play ball, exercise, use the tennis courts, the pool, or whatever. They call the same number?
They call the same number. We get them in touch with the adaptive team.
Tell me one more time the number.
832-394-0814.
So you get them in touch with somebody who can sign them up, get them in there. And we have good collaboration with Metro. We can get them there.
That's right.
Via our accessible vehicles. That's a wonderful opportunity for Houstonians. Everybody should know about it, take advantage of it when they can, and we should help to expand the multi-service center.
We must do this.
We'll talk more about what Houston can do to promote opportunities for people with disabilities, but first we'll take a break. Come back. We'll be right back. Thanks for watching Focus.
Hello, my name is Guadalupe Hernandez. My work deals a lot with going back and revisiting these places of my childhood in Mexico and documenting them.
The influx of so many different people arriving here in Houston from around the world is very impactful on my palette as well as my canvas as an artist.
Mainly for me, just all the art that was in Houston was a big influence on me. It really got me serious about making my own.
In Houston, we make tomorrow together.
But first, we make dinner together. We mix ingredients and cultures. We create excitement that you can taste.
And experiences to savor.
Join us in Houston.
Let's make tomorrow together.
Hey there, you're watching Focus on Abilities on HTV. I'm Lex Frieden. We're here with Angel Ponce. Angel, the Mayor's Office on Disability has a lot of things it's responsible for. Are you looking for volunteers or people who can complement the work that you're doing? How do people, I know one job that the mayor has to appoint folks to on a routine basis is a member of the commission.
That's right.
So we have a Houston Commission on Disabilities. Can you talk about the role of the commission?
Yes, definitely. The Houston Commission on Disabilities is a body of commissioners that have been appointed by the mayor. There are 14 members of the commission, and 9 out of the 14 members must be people with disabilities within the city of Houston limits. And the other folks can be people with disabilities or members of the community that we call allies or disability advocates. And then these representatives represent the city and talk to our constituents with disabilities about issues and concerns that they may have. And then we bring back those issues and concerns to the mayor, to city council, or other department heads to help address those issues if we can. We also get folks that come out to talk to us about issues that they are experiencing within the private sector. And so we have the commissioners go out and talk to these individuals about what the ADA says, what disability law includes, and what folks should be thinking about when they're thinking about inclusive programs and services and business strategies.
So the commissioners are appointed by the mayor.
That's right.
And they don't necessarily have to be leaders of programs. They can be ordinary people with disabilities who have experience that they can translate to recommendations for the city, right?
Yeah, we look for leaders in the community, not necessarily business or entrepreneurs or people that are working in the disability community already. We're looking for folks, yes, including that, but folks that are interested in creating change in Houston. And so right now, I'm glad that you mentioned that, Lex, because right now I have 2 positions that are open, and we're looking for folks that are disabled, that are ready to represent Houston and the Houston community of people with disabilities.
And the kind of recommendations, can you give us an example of the sorts of jobs the commission does in addition to listening to people's issues?
Most definitely. So we have folks that come out to talk to us about any transit issues that they might be having. And so we get a commissioner to talk to Metro, for example, about what's going on with the community. We have folks that may come to us and say, hey, I went to a park with my child with a disability and the park was not accessible. And so the commissioners and the mayor's office for people with disabilities work with the director of the parks department to make sure that we address those issues so that other folks in the future don't encounter those types of situations.
And the sidewalks, you talked about the focus on sidewalks. If somebody runs into a sidewalk that is a barrier for their full participation, let's say they live down the block and they can't get to the bus stop because there's no sidewalk or it's broken up, what do they do? Do they call 311 or is there more direct?
So folks can call 311, but we always advise folks that are listening or watching us right now to or talk to their friends and family members to reach out to us directly. To the mayor's office for people with disabilities, we have a representative in our office that works directly with Houston Public Works to address those types of issues. We also have members of our team that collaborate in other groups through Public Works and the planning department so that we can make sure that the city is looking at infrastructure holistically and thinking about people with disabilities.
To me, it's just amazing that in our city, with an inclusive perspective like we have, that we can include people with disabilities in positions that have influence at the table. That's so important, and we're not only able to present our own views, but we're influencing the way other people think about disability, and I think that's profound.
It's profound. You, Lex, and I know about the famous saying out there says, nothing about us without us.
Yeah, that's it. So at the beginning of the show today, I promised the audience we'd tell them about the founding of the Mayor's Office on Disability. And you were throwing out some dates. What year was the office that you direct actually established?
The office was established in 1993, including the Houston Commission on Disabilities.
So that was by action of the City Council. There is a, a resolution or that established the office and the commission.
That's right.
And I recall that the mayor who did that was Bob Lanier. And Mayor Lanier was eager to show that our city represented everybody.
That's right.
And he set that up, and we've benefited from it ever since. So, Angel, thanks for being here on Focus on Abilities. People need to reach you. Give them that number one more time.
832-394-0814.
All right. I want to thank everybody for watching Focus on Abilities. It's a program that we love, and we're able to share what goes on in Houston, in our community, with everybody here. We hope you enjoy it. If you have ideas about the show, don't hesitate to be in touch with us. I want to thank HTV for producing the show. I want to thank all of you for watching, and I hope everybody has a great day.